The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
And the Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me get a hell yeah!
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Happy Saturday morning, everybody, all Sixers fans everywhere. Today, we are doing a film breakdown of Joel Embiid, just talking about our top takeaways and where do we go from here. Joining me today is my man, Justin. You know him on Twitter at J_Persichetti. Justin, it's good, man.
Yo, I mean it's early here. I know we got viewers from all over the world. So I know for some people it's probably not too early, not too late, but for us it is early this morning.
Yeah. Also joining is my man Tiago. He is at Scabby on Twitter. Tiago, what's up?
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, it's very early for me. You can tell by my hair; it's still a little bit messy.
That's why you wear the hat.
Oh man, I had a lot done this morning. I had to get a lot done. That was the last on the agenda.
I had a pretty busy day yesterday with the whole WandaVision finale. So I'm a little groggy.
God, yeah.
I'm a little groggy, not gonna lie. But here we are today. Let's break down Joel Embiid's first half of the season. You look at his stats: 30.2 points a game, 11.6 free throw attempts per game. Before we get into the tape, let's go through a couple of stats here. You look at his turnover percentage decreasing trend from the beginning of the season to now, and then you look at his usage rate, which is also increased throughout the course of the season. What you'd love to see is that assist percentage on an increasing trend there in the bottom right. I'm going to add some more stats, and give me 1 second. Yeah, it's hard to do when you're live.
You're fine.
I'll talk about the turnover percentages and everything that were there. Like the fact that those are going the fact that those are going down is huge. That's massive, obviously, and it also just shows how people are getting especially Joel is getting more comfortable in the offense as the season's been going on.
Yeah, I looked at two different areas. I looked at ISO and I looked at the pick and roll as a roller to the basket. Here's the ISO numbers. You look at the frequency way up considered over the last 2 years. Points per possession is up. You look at that effective field goal percentage, 62.2%, way up. His free throws down from 2018, but you'd like to see that turnover frequency down from last year, which was a real struggle for him, 12.6 to 9.6%. Thiago, any takeaways on these numbers?
Yeah, so I think the big shift we've seen from Joel Embiid, and you guys can chime in and see if it's something different that you guys see differently, but for me, it's been the shooting. So if you look at Joel Embiid today to where he was last year and what he has been previous parts of his career, he has improved as a shooter from every single part of the court. So I'll give you guys just some basic general numbers compared to how he shot last year, right? So this year he's shooting 41% from three. Last year he shot 33%. Mid-range, 50% this year, 40% last year. Free throw, 85% to 80%. So, like I said, he can hit you from any part of the court. And what's even more impressive with Joel Embiid is his ability to shoot now off the dribble. So this is not just a guy who you're going to post up, have his back to the basket, and he's going to kind of bowl you into the paint. He can face you up, take you off the dribble from, again, any single part of the court. So those things point to exactly what you're showing on the screen here, Chris, is, the space around him, his impact coming downhill has made him pretty much an unstoppable player right now. And I am not sure, if you guys have a different take on this, how do you stop a player like that? That is so big, that really plays like a guard. I mean, that's what we have to talk about is Joel now is like a combo forward and like a guard. He's not just a center. So it's been very impressive. And those numbers show that as well.
Yeah, I love to see the free throw attempts per 100 possessions, 16.7. That is major. You look at his post-ups way up, and his points per touch in the per post up 0.397. Like those are all numbers you want to see from Joel Embiid, and I think those are truly indicative of his MVP season so far. Any take on that, Justin?
No, I mean, you guys covered a lot. I mean, and I've talked about this in post games before, but something that I really love about Joel's game this year is the difference he's making in when he's getting double teamed in the paint. Like, you see his decision making and the way he's trying to get away from defenders is a lot better than he was in the past years, where in past years, and like I said, I've talked about this before, where he would try to almost dribble away from the double team and was like scared of the double team. And now it's as if he embraces it because he trusts his shooters around him now. And it's like now he picks up the ball with two hands, tries to split the defenders, and then get the ball where it needs to go. And it's just you love to see that. And I think that's a big reason why the offense is so efficient and why he's been so much more efficient when it comes to turnovers.
All right, let me get up.
And just to that point, Chris, where you're working on it.
Yep.
I mean, there's a narrative that, Joel Embiid is better because he just got in shape. And while part of that is true, I think it does a disservice to what the work that Joel Embiid has done to become a better player. Mm-hmm. If you watch him in very detail, like there's a lot of details to his game that you can tell he has worked over the last year. And I'll talk specifically to like how he finishes at the rim, how he drives. Those are things that if you watch, for instance, like Jason Tatum, a partner that he works out with Drew Hanlon, I mean, it's like a mirror player. They're like the exact same player attacking downhill. Obviously, Joel is a better player and can finish it in a much higher frequency. But the way that they approach, like, the dribble drive, you can tell like, these guys are at the gym working like excessively hard. So it was not just the fact that he got in shape and just dominated. I feel like that does a disservice to Embiid.
Right, here are his pick and roll numbers, frequency-wise, way up compared to the last 2 years. You look at these stats, and the first thing that really truly pops up is the turnover frequency there, 4%. That is amazing.
Yeah.
How many times have we been watching Joel Embiid play, and he's on the top of the list in terms of turnover percentage? Not this year. That is major. Effective field goal percentage is the same, but any takes, guys, before we get in the tape on Joel Embiid in the pick and roll?
I mean, there's a lot going on around like NBA Twitter and just talk in general, and obviously the big comp for Joel Embiid in the past has been Hakeem Olajuwon because of his footwork, because he can shoot through the mid range. Like, do you guys have any like other comps to him, or is Joe just his own player? Is he his own beast? You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious.
I know that Brock pulled out that tape with him and Dirk. So
he's so much more athletic than Dirk, though.
Right. I struggle with that, Justin, to be honest, because I think Joel is trending towards that center we've never seen before.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah. So I'd like to say that, 5-10 years from now, people are going to be like, comping themselves to Joel Embiid, and college players are going to come out kind of looking the same type of mold. So, I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you, but you can clearly tell that he studies a lot of NBA players.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like with no, I'm not gonna talk about Ben Simmons. I'm gonna talk about Ben Simmons and Brock's comparison with him and the Magic. No, like on ESPN the other day, they had Joel. They were like, "Who's better? Is Joel better than Shaq?" I was like, "My goodness, they're already trying with this stuff." It was like.
People get so caught up in comparisons.
A
little too much for my liking. I love that play right there.
It's wild.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite low key plays from Joel.
Yeah,
season when he got the N1. But I can't help but think Hakeem. Like, you look at his footwork, you look at his loose hips, you look how decisive he has been in the post this season. Like, to me, it's Hakeem. I've just when I made this tape, like, there are so many plays just when he catches the ball, like, here we go, like, just boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right there. We have not seen that over the last few years. He's just way more decisive, way more confident, quicker with the ball. He sees the court so much better than he has in the past, and the assist numbers or the turnover numbers are indicative of that.
And what's insane too is like Tiago, and you touched on this before about how he's just a better shooter in general. It's just like it's like there's not a shot that he shoots anymore that I'm confident that I'm not confident in him making. Like which is just we've never had a guy like that on this team before. Because like for the longest time, you really think about it, like we've always said, okay, well, Embiid is good, but he just needs to be more efficient, and that's like actually happening now.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. I'm looking at some of these highlights. We don't even talk about, first of all, his defense, right? Which is
I know
up there with defensive player of the year stuff. If they gave defensive player of the year tomorrow to Joel Embiid, I'd be like, well deserved. But only that, he gets so far deeper in the paint now. If you watch him,
Oh yeah,
a lot of it has to do with the pace. The Sixers like to run and bend. He's getting down the court and literally setting himself down low, but that goes more to get to the shape and the physical element of his game, where he can tell like he's much stronger now and can just bully guys right in that restricted area. It's made his life much easier for sure.
yeah, and I mean Doc even came out early this season saying that like one thing that they didn't do, he feels like in Brett's offense they didn't do enough was get Joel deep early. Like a lot of times, and I've said this before as well, a lot of times he'll start at the top of the post or at the top of the like the elbow with the ball. And nowadays you see him at times running right into the restricted area and having Ben just toss it down to him and just get a quick bucket instead of just trailing behind and getting a three ball. Yeah,
that is a good point. I mean, Brett loved that trailer three. Doc's like, no, man, go get your matchup advantage when you got a guard, defending you in the paint.
Yeah, so what we're watching, guys, I made this highlight reel. It's all of his best plays in succession. So it's starting from December to January to February to March. So a lot of the clips you're watching right now are probably from December, and it's just going to keep going and going. You can find this highlight reel on our channel. It's all there. I also made a best of pre-All-Star highlight reel for Joel Embiid. That is there as well. We have some comments here. As part of the analysis, quick question: wouldn't it benefit the Sixers offense if we had more playmaking and Joel's usage rate can go down a little? Dude has to create for himself. Any thoughts on that, Tiago? I'm bringing on someone to take away the usage from Joel.
Yeah, so to that point, I actually looked up while this came up. So this year, 44% of Joel's 2-point shots are assisted, and his career is 46%. So that tells me exactly to that point is that he's having to do more for himself, whereas in the past he had other guys could set him up. I do think like it's a function of a lot of things. First, like if Joel is dominating the matchup, like who cares how he's getting the shots? Who cares about his usage? Just let him dominate. But I do think that, the Sixers, again, we talk a lot about these in a lot of the games that we do, is that they don't necessarily have a lot of quick trigger guys on the perimeter. So, the ball swings, they hesitate to shoot. A guy like Tobias Harris loves to take the extra dribble and kind of recreate offense from that. I think if Joel just played with some guys like, listen, man, like I'm going to get double, I'm going to swing the ball to you, and you're going to let it go, I think he would trust even more the players around him. He already does more than he had in the past, like Justin was saying. But I just wish they just gave him some quick trigger guys and some guys who could just let it fly. And also like some cutters, because like he gets double team a lot and he's a good passer. We talked about this. So guys who just flash to the rim, like as soon as they get double team, he's going to swing that pass across the heart of the defense, and it's an easy 2 points. So I think those two things would help.
Yeah, I think that footwork is just insane.
Yeah.
I just every time I watch this, like that is it. Like he just looks, instead of like in previous years when he's waiting for others to react or he's waiting to read the double team, he's much quicker with his footwork and being aggressive with the ball in his hands. It's just you see it. Like you give the ball to Embiid and he makes a move. It's not him just waiting for others. And I think that's, as much as I love Brett Brown, that's the main difference here. We're going to be talking about Tobias Harris and how Doc Rivers has unlocked Tobias Harris this season. But I think you're seeing a similar impact here for Joel. Not just there's just more floor spacing. The offense is better. Everyone seems to know their role. It's just a much clearer offense compared to years past.
And something I do want to talk about with like just in general with the team a little bit is, and you kind of got into this with talking about role, is like this is the first year we've had like good players that know their role. In the past, it's been like we've had like good to average players that are either trying to grow in the league still and trying to figure out who they are, kind of thing. Like when you had Josh Richardson, when you had Jimmy Butler. Like it's just like Jimmy obviously wanted his team, and the roles were very confused that year. And Tobias wanted to find his place to fit in somewhere, and the roles were still very confused there. And it's just like I think this probably like the top three of this roster, you couldn't really have a better like in my opinion. And I know a lot of people say if the fit isn't there, but like to me, it's hard to find a better fit with like not even just game but like personality.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, I completely agree, Justin, 100%. But I will say this from a fit standpoint, I think the best he'd ever had was when JJ and Rocco were here.
Oh,
they were not better players. I think
I understand what you mean.
But those
I'm
guys,
talking about pure mindset wise, just like having people who are unselfish around Joel and like around Ben, like Ben and Tobias, like all of them are very unselfish players. Yeah. So it's like Ben's not going to be mad when other people are scoring, and Tobias isn't going to be mad when he's not getting as many shots up as he maybe would on the other team.
Yeah, that's a great point. And like people love to criticize the fit with Ben and Joel. And Ben is one of the point guards. Like he understands exactly when and how to get Joel the ball. A lot of point guards like are score-minded point guards. Ben is not that. And
how many big men make that play?
None.
That's wild right now. Poor Wendell Carter. He's like, I did not want to be here right now.
But you asked that question, Thiago. Like, who can match up with this guy when he's like making step back shots like this that we saw during the last game of the season against the Jazz? Like, it's like, see, that's it. Like, how many times do we say like Joel's issues are between the ears? Like, it's a confidence, a confidence issue moving forward, and I think that's what we have seen. He's holding his back right there.
I have a good thought with that actually. So I was listening. I posted this on Twitter. I'm not sure how many people saw it, but it was an interview between Kendrick Perkins got interviewed by Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson on All the Smoke, and Kendrick was talking about Doc Rivers, and he was talking about when he came to the Celtics and like how he affected his career. And it was so interesting to me because he went straight into exactly what we're seeing with the Sixers now, and that is role definition and bringing them confidence in what they're good at. So like that, like, and that's like the biggest thing. He's like Doc gave me the confidence to feel like I didn't need to be this great offensive player. He said I just need to be this hard-nosed defender. And like you see, like that's exactly what like he's doing with Joel. Is like he's saying to Joel, you don't need to be anything more than you already are. Just go out there and fucking play. And you can, and he's doing it, and he's confident with it, and you hear it in every interview, you see it every time he's on the court. He knows he's the best player out there.
Yep,
that's a great point. And what Doc does to exactly what Justin's saying, like he spaces the court around Joel. Is like go to work. Like Brett would not do that. Brett even came out and said, like, I have no interest in spacing the court around Joel Embiid because it makes him easier to defend. And he could not been more wrong with that. Like, spacing the court around Embiid has made him an entirely different player, especially with all the stuff that we talked about on the podcast, you know, his ability to score off the drive and whatnot. I mean, you see it right now. I mean, just destroying Gobert off the dribble here, which was
and honestly, the thing that used to concern me, like when Brett was here, and mind you, I didn't know offensive I haven't seen much offensive basketball before watching the Sixers and watching Brett Brown's offense. But and like when it came to Joel, like he really didn't bully ball too much down low. It was mostly face up stuff. It was mostly like in years past, mostly like finesse moves. And he still uses those finesse moves, but there's a great balance between the finesse he's using and the power he uses as well. And it's just. And that's why it's so hard to guard too, because people are like, okay, do I double team? Do I not double team? Do I how do I guard this? Because he can beat you in both ways.
Yeah,
it used to matter. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but it used to matter as well. Like who was guarding him? Is there like a heavy Marc Gasol guarding him? Is there a Jesus Christ?
Yeah, that was my favorite play of the game.
I agree.
Rudy Gobert fell on his ass. That was awesome.
Going wild.
But yeah, it's like to me it used to be like, okay, is a big guy Al Horford or big guy Marc Gasol guarding him because he can't bully him as well. But now it's like he just doesn't care. He's like, I'm just gonna put my shoulder into you, and you're either gonna fall over because you're hurt and I hurt you, or you're gonna get a foul call on you. Like it's like like I said, it's that confidence that I think Doc has instilled in him, and the confidence that not only Doc but just having another year and like just working on his game, dude. He's so good. He's just so good. I feel like I can't say anything more. He's so good.
The Sixers. I guess you got the one question here. The Sixers are playing the Clippers in the NBA Finals. Do you think Serge Ibaka is going to provide much of a resistance?
Serge is barbecue chicken, bro.
Yeah,
I think you just saw it on the tape. Like Joel Embiid can beat you in every single way.
Yeah,
he can take you off the dribble. If he's down in the post, you're done. He's going to get either to the free throw line and then one or finish. You saw him in the pick. You look at his pick and roll numbers, his ISO numbers. They're all up compared to years past. It's been really impressive. Steven says Joel has shed 20 pounds. He's thinner. Result of fatherhood. Superhero 18 says Joel being a better fast break weapon has definitely helped the fit more between Ben and Joel Embiid. Steven says the more weight he loses, the less likely those injuries will occur. And Superhero 18 says, I'd love for Joel Embiid to dunk over Al Horford this year. I'm sure that game was rescheduled. We'll wrap it up. We're going to move on to our next one. Thiago, final thoughts and plugs.
Health, man. That's my final thought. This guy needs to stay healthy. If he does, the Sixers are going to be very good for a very long time. So, yeah, just pray for health with Joel Embiid. That's pretty much it.
Make sure you follow my man Thiago at Tscabia. Check out all his content at thepaintedlines.com. He also joins us during our post-game shows. Justin, you're up, man. Final thoughts and plugs.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to Thiago. Just stay healthy, man. Don't get hurt. That's a big thing. And then also I would say just keep the consistent shooters around him. Keep getting consistent shooting, and that is going to help this team ultimately with a guy like Joel. So we will see what happens. Go follow me on Twitter. It's right there.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow us on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. See you guys next time.
Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh, man. Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia